So today we're talking about what? Can you guess? Do you know what I'm dressed as? Music. We're talking about music. Yes. And to start off, we're going to play music. I'm going to start with the Reading Time with the Queens, a theme song. Here we go. Take a stand to make a scene. It's reading time with the Queens. I know you've been hoping for reading time with the Queens. The library's open for reading time with the Queens. There's lots to know about the world today, so open a book, let's make our way. There's crafts to be making at reading time with the Queens. There's songs to be singing at reading time with the Queens. Today we'll learn that we each are a star. We'll spread kindness wherever we are. It's so much fun, but it's not a dream. It's reading time with the Queens. Ooh, there we go. Yay! Yes, okay, so hello, my name is Miss Cali. Hi, Miss Cali. Today we're going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about specifically, in regards to music, we're going to be talking about two themes. We're going to be talking about marching bands and orchestras. Okay. But before we do that, I want to talk about something. So usually at reading time, I don't know if you know this, we learn American Sign Language. So we learn signs. However, both Mr. Aaron and Mr. Zay are on vacation today, and it's a general rule that deaf people be the ones to pass on American Sign Language and teach it to others, not hearing people like me. So, instead of learning signs, I'm going to be talking a little bit about deaf people and music. So I have a question for you. Do you think that deaf people can enjoy music?
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, why? Why not? They can't hear. What do you think? You can see people being happy and enjoying the music? Yeah, I think that you both are kind of right in some ways. Mr. Zay wanted me to tell you that you don't actually have to hear to enjoy music. Did you know that Mr. Zay and I have actually performed music together? Can you believe it? So what happens is I will sing and Mr. Zay will do a duet and Mr. Zay will sign along. So Mr. Zay also used to do drag like me, and he would perform in front of people by dancing and signing and lip syncing to a song. And that is one way that a deaf person could enjoy music. Some deaf people also play music, and my favorite example is this person, Evelyn Glennie, and she is a deaf woman who is a master of percussion and has won many awards for her innovation in music. And you might be asking, oh, well, how can she play music? Well, because she is a master of percussion, that's drums, she can feel the vibrations of the music in her body, and that is something that does not require her to hear at all. So, we aren't going to read this book. I'm sorry to tease you and then put it away, but there is a read aloud of this book on our YouTube channel if you want to watch it later, so ask your grown-ups, okay? Sounds good. So I just want you to think about that, and I want you to remember that if someone, hearing or deaf, doesn't matter, wants to enjoy or play music, that they should be encouraged to, okay? So that's our little lesson for today. Now, we're going to get into stories, of course, with some books, and I have none other than Mr. Lance with our first one. Give it up for Mr. Lance!
All right, well, the book I am reading today is called Our Marching Band.
Ooh.
Yes, and this is by Lloyd Moss. Marching band is my favorite. I did a lot of marching band when I was young. Here we go, look. The very first thing, they've got all their cases. They're just starting. That's the beginning. Everything comes in a case. That's not recommended. I don't recommend that you roll your instrument. That's a drum. You should not roll your instrument. That's not good. A neighbor boy, Mel McElroy, had seriously planned to learn to play the trumpet and go in a marching band. Belinda Bloor, who lived next door, decided on her own she'd go parading, serenading on a slide trombone. How was this Miss Callie was playing earlier? Ooh. Across the street, Maureen Magritte thought, wouldn't it be cute to wear a fancy uniform and tootle on a flute? Around the corner, Harry Horner had his mind all set. He'd soon be taking lessons and would learn the clarinet. One house away, Siobhan O'Shea, in mapping out her life, had planned to blow a piccolo, which some folks call a fife. And down the block, Ralph Rosenstock made up his mind to play a tuba or a sousaphone, whichever came his way. Sousaphone is a little bit different than a tuba. That's the thing. The sousaphone is the one that you wear. It's a really big one and it wraps around you. I tried to play that, but I was too short. And those are very, very heavy. You have to be very strong. That's this one. That's the sousaphone. Yes. You that actually, which side is it? No, that is a French horn. That is what I play. You'll get to see one of those later. To Calvin Crumb, to beat a drum held marvelous appeal, while Betsy Brown would go to town upon a glockenspiel. It's a funny word, glockenspiel. Sam Sachs would own a saxophone he'd learn to play upon, and May McCall would lead them all by twirling a baton. The kids agreed they had the need to practice every day for blocks around the candy sound of instruments at play. You can see some of them in the windows practicing. You can kind of tell if you look on the people's faces, they don't sound too good yet. Throughout the start, each person's part just didn't sound too good. The girls and boys produced a noise that stunned the neighborhood. The grown-ups groaned and sighed and moaned. They sobbed and tore their hair. Those awful tones just shook their bones. They came from everywhere. That sound and noise, it near destroys. They bellow and complain. Confound that noise. Those girls and boys are driving us insane. If you've ever been in a house with a person practicing a musical instrument, that's very accurate. It does drive you insane. Yep. But bit by bit, the sound of it got better by degrees. And day by day, with practice, play had soon begun to please. By never veering, persevering early morn till late, the hours spent in practice meant they now were sounding great. Town Mayor Bly went passing by and cried, "What a lovely sound! It's simply grand, so close at hand. This dandy band I've found. It's my intent they'll represent the town, and I will try to see they've played our big parade the next 4th of July." That's all of them. They've all got matching, they're getting better. They've got matching shirts. The 4th of July parade was never my favorite. It was so hot outside, and you didn't have to march for so long out in the sun. Look, now they have uniforms. They got all the fancy hats. Those hats, those are called shakos. Yes, they have their own special name. That day is here. The way is clear. They're standing in a line. Those outfits grand befit the band. Their instruments all shine. The whistle blows, they're on their toes. May raises her baton. Then down it comes. A roll on drums by Calvin means march on.
Yeah.
Mel's trumpet flares invade the air with clear and sparkling tone. Belinda blows and music flows in waves from her trombone. Maureen is seen behind them and her flute is trimming high. And Harry lets his clarinet sing out while marching by. That's cool. I didn't notice that. They've got their music attached to their instruments, which is an actual thing. You can actually do that. Most marching bands prefer you to memorize your music, but they're just starting, so they still. Siobhan is on the piccolo. Ralph's tubas boom with zeal. Sam's sax extends its notes and blends with Becky's glockenspiel. There they go. There they go. They're marching down the street. They march in style. Just see them smile. Their voices blend as one. The crowds all cheer as they draw near. What brassy, classy fun! Their neighbors greet them on the street and cry, "You sound so good!" When starting out, we had no doubt. We always knew you would. We know that's not true. We saw how they acted in the beginning. Did you succeed? Yes, indeed. Proceeded just as planned. We're mighty proud. We'll shout out loud. All hail our marching band. There they go, marching down the street. And that's the end. There's this cute little thing at the end of which looks like he lost control of his drum. That's very accurate for what happens at the end of the parade. Once you're done, it's time to go home. It's done. You're done. All right, well, thank you for listening. And I'm really glad I got to see you all here today. So, I like that they all got together and they just decided independently that they were going to make a marching band. And they practiced and worked really hard and did what they wanted to do. And it turned out really, really great.
Yeah. And they all had their own individual talents, but it was something, I think, even better when they got together and worked together, wasn't it, huh?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Lance. It's a wonderful book.
It was.
Now, so, we learned about a marching band.
Yes.
And you've talked about how you have experience in marching band.
Yes.
What instrument do you play in the marching band?
Well, in the marching band, so this is a fun little tidbit that I don't know if I've ever shared with you. Actually, the instrument I play in the marching band is called a mellophone.
Oh.
Which, if you look at, I've got this fancy little pin here. This is the French horn. That's the other instrument that I play. A mellophone is the marching version of a French horn.
Okay.
So it's the same amount of tubes, but instead of the air going sideways, the sound goes forward.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're marching and the people at like the football game are up in the stands, it's not going to work if the sound goes sideways.
Yeah,
the sound has to go towards the person.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah.
So those are the instruments that I play. I play mellophone and French horn.
Well, did you bring either a mellophone or a French horn for us today?
I did.
Oh, awesome. What? Could you show us?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it? Oh, this is it?
This is it right here. Yeah, it's a little bulky.
Pretty big.
A little big. So I have played French horn since, yeah, if you want to, it is loud, we warned you. I have played French horn since about, I think it was 6th or 7th grade that I started playing. My older brother also plays French horn. So does my younger brother.
Oh, so it's a
a
family tradition.
affair. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. That's a good question. So, this is a wind instrument, and named as such because you use air. Air makes the noise. So it has a special little thing called a mouthpiece. It makes its own noise, which is fun. But when you put it on there, you can't really play it without that. Like there's nothing. So, I might need to switch your spots.
Oh, are you going to play a song for us?
I am.
Oh,
Yes.
you're not going to just show us. You're going to play a song.
I mean, I suppose I could, but that's no fun.
Okay.
So, to answer your question where you pulled it, this is a very unique instrument. instrument. You can see that there's space there. So you put your hand in a special way, kind of like a duck, and you hold it. You put the weight right there, on like that. And there's little hooks here for the other hand. So you can just, and you can actually affect, there's some fun effects in some songs, where the further in you can mute it, you can change the tone and all sorts of fun things on this end. So, yes, okay. So I have been practicing this song, but I'm a little nervous. I mean, I played it this morning, but. So, yes, I'm going to play Let It Go from Frozen.
Oh!
Yes, you don't have to play just classical or marching band music. You can play anything you want. So, and I think this is a really fun song that I want to share with you. So, hold on, give me just a second. Let me. Okay, go ahead. Yep.
Hello everyone, welcome to Craft Corner. My name is 𝐿𝐸𝐿𝐼, and who is this?
I'm Mr. Lance.
Hello Mr. Lance, welcome to Craft Corner. Look at this amazing space that we find ourselves in.
I love it. What are we doing today, Kai?
Today we are making a very special music sheet. I'll have you show.
Yes.
We have a very fun, we're composing is what we're doing today.
Ooh, yes.
And so we have a couple of things here. A couple of the items that we have for this particular craft are, I'll give you this as well.
We have got this size of pom-poms.
Yes, we have little teeny tiny pom-poms and stickers with their music notes on them. They're various different kinds.
And we've got the bigger pom-poms, and yet we've got some stickers there as well.
They're very exciting. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the most about music. I know a little bit. I know enough to get by. I probably know more than the average person, but that does not mean I know a lot. So it will be up to you to kind of...
Okay, well, I'm no virtuoso either, but I'm happy to help.
Perfect.
All right, what do we do first in this wonderful craft?
Okay, so what we're going to do first is we are going to put some glue just kind of over this music staff.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called.
That is what it's called. That's
cool.
correct. We've got these two papers here. We've got the one with the lines, and then just a pretty background color there. So we just got to put some glue on here.
Yep, we're going to put some glue on one side, and these ones were printed double-sided, so it kind of doesn't really matter which side we put the glue on. It'll be totally good either way.
Great. Hope that's enough glue. I think that looks good.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't want to do too much, because if it's too wet, it won't stick.
Yes, if it's too wet, then it won't stick, but then also it'll take forever for it to dry. And I'm impatient.
Just kind of glue it on there, make sure it's on there.
Yes, and definitely press it down as well, because that'll also have the glue. It'll make it easier for the glue to stick to the paper, and it'll make it easier for the paper to stick to itself.
There we go. See? Now it's all one paper.
Perfect. Alrighty, and then we also have these little dishes. They're just little clear, teeny tiny little, I don't even know what these are supposed to be. I think they're just little like...
They're just little craft dishes.
Just little craft dishes.
Little side dish bowl there.
And what we're going to do is we're going to put just a little bit of glue into here. And then we are going to be able to use it to dip our pom-poms into the glue and then place them onto the paper. It is a little bit easier to do it that way than to dot glue into every single spot that you want it.
Okay. Great.
Right, then I can do some of the little pom-poms if you want to do some of the big ones.
Awesome. So do you play any instruments or sing at all? Where does your music knowledge come from?
So when I was a young child of about 8 to 12, I actually had a piano teacher, and she taught me a lot of what I know. She taught me all of what I know. And she also specialized in opera music and opera singing specifically. Oh, whoops. That little pom-pom is going to be gone forever.
That one has plenty of glue.
Yes. And so, yeah, that's basically the amount of music knowledge that I have is from that relatively short time frame when I was a child. Okay. What about you? What music things do you know of?
Well, similar to you, I did play and sing piano when I was younger. That's how my music started. I was playing and singing piano. Singing piano? You don't sing a piano. That was silly.
You could sing a piano. I don't know how you could, but you could.
Well, technically, if we're going to sidebar for a moment, the piano is a kind of dynamic. That piano means very soft. Piano is soft and forte is loud, so you can sing piano. So
that's true.
I was not wrong.
That's true. That's true.
So I played piano for a little bit. I sang a little bit. As I got older, I branched out into other things. I played other instruments. I played clarinet for a little bit. Nice. But the main instrument that I play now is actually French horn.
Ooh, that's super exciting.
Yeah, that's the twisty one. That's what most people know it as because it's kind of got a unique name. So.
Which is interesting. I assume that because it's called the French horn that it maybe was originally created in like France. I assume.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure.
We can pretend. Origins. We can pretend.
There's also something called an English horn that looks nothing like a French horn.
Oh, interesting.
It looks kind of like a clarinet or an oboe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I don't know if those two things are related at all, but they're very different.
That is a good question.
So I don't know.
Different parts of the world than I am familiar with.
Me too. Yeah.
To be honest.
Oh, I didn't want to put that too close. I did put an orange one already over there.
That's okay. That's okay. I know. I'm kind of placing wherever.
That was a very unique shaped pom pom.
Yeah. There were a couple of.
That one's a special one. It's great.
It looks like this one was maybe supposed to be a little one, but then it didn't get a full haircut. I think that's what.
That's a Fermata now.
Yes.
This is from Lux Special. Oh no, that's okay.
That's okay.
We
can
have
pretend.
plenty.
As we can vacuum later. Craft now, vacuum later.
Yes.
I used to be able to read music.
Mm-hmm.
I probably still could if you give me a second. Or 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah.
But I'm I'm very curious.
Okay.
Have you ever like seen a piece of sheet music and really wanted to play it and maybe like couldn't or could, and like what has been your experience?
Well, a lot of my experience comes with is very woven in with practice. And any musician will tell you that practice is very important, but nobody ever wants to do it.
Yes.
Because it is very repetitive. Because the point of practice is to create better habits and to work on the parts of the song that you're maybe not so good at. But nobody likes to do things that they're not good at, or you have to repeat the same part over and over again.
Yeah.
So practicing has never been anybody's favorite.
I think that's probably, for me personally, I think that's probably why I couldn't do music as much as maybe I wanted to, especially when I was a young kid.
Yes.
Because my mom, I remember, there was one point where I was a young child and I was practicing piano, and I would get very frustrated because I couldn't play it perfectly the first time. And anyone who says that they can play music perfectly or do anything perfectly the first time,
That's not true.
they're probably lying. I don't know anyone who can do something perfectly the first time, which is nice it honestly is kind of a nice feeling. Like no one is perfect, and that's okay.
Yep. There are several. There's a group that I play my instrument in. I play in a band.
Ooh, cool.
And it's very important to practice as much as we all don't like it. It's important to practice, especially when it comes to a group, because if I play my part, but I'm relying on the rest of the band to play their part, and if they don't know it, it's not going to sound as good. So we all have to work individually for it to work together.
That makes sense.
All right. Do we want to use all these pom-poms, or do we think we have enough?
We probably have enough. I was getting carried away.
No, it's fun.
It is very fun.
But we also have these little 8th note stickers here. I showed some of them earlier. Here, this is where we're at. So I'm going to be very careful because it is still drying. You can kind of see what we got going on there. That's fun.
Yes,
all the different kinds of notes.
I wonder if it would be possible if someone who's certainly better at reading sheet music than I am, if it was possible for them to read the sheet music that we are creating, whatever the song is.
Oh, I don't know. That would be fun to see,
That would be very, very fun, yeah.
So now we're just going to take these the 8th notes, the actual stickers now. They're pretty tiny. You can look there. And as well as our music note representation, we have actual music notes. I'm going to stick some of those on there. It would be definitely interesting to see. I would love to hear what that would sound like, because this is definitely a little bit...
It's a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
I don't know what these big ones mean in comparison to these little ones, but you know what?
Those were definitely... I think those are like whole notes, those are the notes that you hold longer.
And maybe these smaller ones are like closer to like quarter or half notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's definitely something there.
And then we have these 8th notes. Oh boy.
8th notes are usually the faster ones. Yeah. And there's a lot of other like rhythm and theory that was the hard part for me. Is like because it turns out music is actually a lot of math.
Yeah, it's a lot of math. It's also a little bit of science. It's they're the band Queen, famous band Queen. I could be wrong actually with this, but it wasn't like most of the band members, like, weren't they like rocket scientists or I mean, not rocket scientists, that's intense.
I'm
but,
not sure if it was Queen or if it was another band, but I have definitely heard this before, that there were a lot of, that they weren't just a band, they were also like physicists or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Where science comes into music is like the science of sound.
Yes.
So you have to figure out like how different instruments sound together and how they blend and that sort of thing. So.
Or even like the science of how different, in addition to like instruments, how different like notes sound in comparison to each other.
Yes.
And even just the energy or vibe that those notes bring when you hear them together.
Right. And sometimes there are some composers out there who do things similar to what we're doing right now, who will make it, who it's supposed to sound bad. You would think that all the notes are supposed to sound better and pretty together, but depending on the story you're trying to tell, it might need to sound bad. Yeah.
Like discordant and cacophonous, for two big words. 2 big words to use.
Okay, I'm gonna stick one last pom pom on here because there's.
Oh yeah, I see.
Where there's a little bit of a gap there.
Put a little sticker right there, just to kind of fill it out.
There we go. All right. Do we think our masterpiece needs anything else?
I think we are set. Honestly, this looks amazing.
Do we want to give our song a name, or should we just let it be Untitled Project?
Untitled work in progress. I'm really bad at names, I'm gonna be honest. I think Untitled is probably
I actually kind of like it, just like
Untitled
an Untitled work in progress. That's great. Here's the final. Here's where we landed. That is Untitled work in progress. And if there's any, I don't know if there's any musicians out there who think there's enough information to play something off of.
Oop, I think we lost the pom-pom.
There's less now, but if you think that that's something you can play, let us know. That would be really fun to hear. So,
that would be very fun to hear.
Well, that is our project. That is our craft corner.
Thank you guys, everyone, so much for watching. This was very, very fun. I'm so glad that we were able to talk about our various music histories.
Yes.
That was so fun.
All right, well, we hope to see everybody again real soon. Bye!
Bye!
Well, next, we're going to meet a new friend, because we're not just talking about just marching band. There's other types of instruments.
What? There
Yes,
are?
there's all sorts of other types of way you can play music. So, we're going to introduce you to our new friend who actually plays a stringed instrument. We're going to meet Mr. Casey!
Give it up for Mr. Casey! Yay!
All right, let me get out of your way.
It's a violin.
It's a violin.
I play
This is
violin.
Well, all right, or that already answers my first question. What is this instrument? And this instrument actually has a few other, has another name. Do you know what the other name is?
No.
I bet you do.
A fiddle.
A fiddle. So a violin and the fiddle are the exact same instrument. I'm going to demonstrate both today. I want to open up with a quick little song here. You might recognize it. Do you know what that song is called? It's called Ode to Joy, and it's made by, or it was written by a very famous composer who was deaf. And the very first time they performed that piece on stage with the singing and all the instruments of the world, he didn't hear the applause at the end of it, and his orchestra had to grab him and turn around so you could see the audience clapping for that music. So we already know that this is called the violin. I'm going to play a quick little fiddle piece that makes me go wow. I just enjoy playing this one. You guys create some music with your arts and crafts, and I would love to play one of your pieces of music that you created. So if you have one nearby, I see one here. Do you mind if I try to play this? Now I can read this like music where I go one line at a time, which is going to be really hard, or I can just follow your little pom-poms. I'm going to follow the pom-poms.
Okay, would you like some assistance?
Oh, I would love some assistance. Thank you for being my music stand. Okay, so we have some notes stacked up on top of each other, but I can do it.
Just marching bands, we're also talking about symphonies and orchestra. So, we're going to introduce you to a new friend today. We're going to introduce you to Maestro Nell, who's going to talk to you about some string instruments.
Yeah, come on up! Yay!
Thank you, Mr. Lance.
Thank you.
So, I have a twin brother, and my twin brother plays the French horn.
Really?
I love the French horns.
That's awesome. I love
it for us today.
Grab this book for you.
Great, thank you. I'm going to just put this here with the box of instruments, since that looks like instruments.
Yes, it did. Yes.
Anybody know what this is? Well, yeah, what is it?
Violin.
It's a violin. You are so right. How did you know that?
Because I want to play one.
You want to play one? Do you guys play instruments already?
I'm gonna play piano. I know how to play a couple songs, and also I really like the violin because it's my name, Vi. My name is Vi.
Oh.
Fantastic. Okay, well, there are violins and flutes and pianos in orchestras. So my name is Maestro Nell, because maestro is a name that you give to a conductor. So if you ever see an orchestra with all the instruments on stage, something like this, there's a person who's standing in front and waving their arms around. So that's me, and I conduct the Idaho State Civic Symphony here in Pocatello. And I hope that you'll come to a concert sometime. Let's see what that might be like. So the book I'm going to read to you, it's called, now I feel like you guys are so far away. I'm going to come to this. I'm not as loud as a horn. So this book is called The Boy Who Said Wow. And it's by Todd, and there's art by Rashin, I'm not sure how to say his name, Kheiriyeh, we'll say Kheiriyeh. Kheiriyeh, thanks. So, this is a really beautiful book, and I want to just mention also, the authors made a little dedication. So the person who wrote the story said, for Ronan and his family, and the person who did the art says, to my nephew Armin, whom I love so much, I wish a beautiful life for neurodivergent kids all over the world. You guys know what that means? What is a neurodivergent kid? So it's like, neuro has to do with how you think, it has to do with your brain, and divergent is like going a different direction. So it's kids whose brains work a little bit differently. And you'll see, this is going to be an example. Ronan in this book is a neurodivergent kid. So, what a beautiful morning, says Father. Shall we go to the beach? And this is Ronan with his dog, who's a major character in the book. Ronan is quiet. What a lovely afternoon, says Mother. Shall we go to the park? Ronan is quiet. So Ronan is doing lots of things. He's playing with the dog, and he's reading his book, but he's not actually saying anything to his friends. There's the dog again. Might be. You guys have read books before, you know how this goes. Oh wait, he isn't here. Suddenly, Grandfather bursts through the door. Let's go to a concert. Oh yeah, there he is. A risk, says Mother. She looks worried. A challenge, says Father. An adventure, says Grandfather. Ronan is quiet as he gets into the car. He is quiet. He is quiet as they leave the sleepy countryside.
Why are the parents not in the picture with the dogs?
Well, I think the parents stayed home. I I think that the dog's going to concerts and the parents are not.
Why can't the dogs their parents?
Well, I think the dog and Ronan are good friends. I will say,
Or probably.
normally dogs do not go to concerts.
Or the boy is scared without the dog.
Perhaps that could also be that just
The dog is a good friend.
perhaps a dog. I mean, the dog is also really, really cute. For me personally, if I had to choose between seeing the dog in every picture or the parents, I would choose the dog. Oh, look, there it is. This city is noisy. Grandfather is noisy too. He talks and talks and talks. What do you think it says about Ronan?
He's quiet.
Ronan is quiet.
He's the opposite of his friend.
All the way to Symphony Hall. But you can see they're both dressed up. They have these lovely red bow ties on. Did the dog have a red bow tie on? No, I can't remember.
We never got to see his.
Well, let's see. No, he has a red vest, but
He
not
has a
red tie.
vest.
Yeah, no.
Yes, it's a grandpa.
So here they are. They've arrived at Symphony Hall. So this is the box office, and they're buying their ticket. And this is a little advertisement that says "Music Concert Symphony Orchestra, 7 p.m." All right, this is a very advanced musical question. Do either of you know what that instrument is? Yes.
I think it's not a violin.
It's not a violin. It's not a viola. Those are both very good guesses, but it's not a violin or a viola. So what else could it be? What is another string instrument? And I'll give you a hint. Can I give you a hint? All right. Do you see that there's a little pin sticking down?
The bass.
You know, it could be a bass. Yes, but let's see. Can you see? You have better eyes than I do. How many strings does it have?
4.
It has 4. All right, so that could be a bass. There's one other option. I think you're right, actually. I think it is a bass. There's another option for what it could be, though, if it has an end pin like that. You know what the other instrument that has an end pin is? It's a little smaller than a bass. You play it sitting down like this. It's called the cello. So if you go see a symphony orchestra, you'll see violins, violas, which are a little bigger than violins, cellos, and basses. You guys know a lot. All right, here they are. They're at the concert hall. Welcome, Symphony Orchestra. That's me. That's the maestro with the baton. Some children are born noisy, but Ronan was born quiet. Some days he hardly says a word. What goes on in his head, do you suppose? Only Ronan knows. Okay, here we are. What a fantastic concert hall, says Ronan's grandfather as they take their seats.
That's a dog.
Yeah. So here we have the stage and all of the chairs. Yep, that looks like a bass back there. That looks like a cello.
What if the dog just
Hey, look, what's that?
Fridge horn.
Fridge horn! Woo!
What if the dog just runs up there and starts walking around? What if he went up
This
there?
is perhaps why dogs are not normally allowed.
What if he went up there and started playing the bass?
That would be astonishing. That would be, yeah.
Want to teach my dog to play the bass?
This
Which
is a
one?
pretty small dog too. Oh, look, here they all are. Oh my gosh, look, she's doing just exactly like Mr. Lance was doing.
The
Putting her hand
dog.
in there. Is the dog, oh, the dog's not in the orchestra. Good, I was worried for a second. All right, so there's the maestro conducting. There's the horn players, so many horn players.
Too many horns.
Look, she's playing the bass. What's that?
Saxophone.
Saxophone, excellent. What's that?
Violin.
Looks like it might be a violin. So Ronan is quiet as the musicians come on stage. Ronan is quiet as the lights go down. Wait, is there a dog in that one? No. That's me. Yeah. Everybody is quiet now. The music is about to begin. And then it does. So how does Ronan look?
Happy.
He looks happy. How does the dog look?
Happy.
Also happy.
He's looking
Yes,
at
I
his
think
face.
they're
And
both.
the
And the grandpa's happy.
He's like,
Woo! So there's all the music going on. What do you think the grandpa's saying? Whoa! The darker instruments sound cool and frightening. Somebody, somebody, and look at they're getting swept out of their seat.
What if that's literally just his imagination?
I think it probably is an imagination, but then again, the dog's in the concert hall, so we don't know. Anything's possible.
Ah, don't cry.
The lighter instruments sound warm and friendly. Together, they sound like a sky full of stars. Look at them blowing around. Yeah. Whee! Now the music is done. Everything is silent. The stars fade away. Then Ronan's mouth opens, and out comes a great big wow! Wow! The dog's not in it. The poor dog.
Imagine if the dog was like this.
The dog might have like jumped. The dog's up here. The dog was like, whoa! Ah! Ronan never makes sound like that.
Maybe the dog.
This wow isn't just any old wow. It's Ronan's first wow. It fills up Ronan's whole face. It fills up the hearts of all the people in the audience. It fills up the whole concert hall. Everybody laughs. Then everybody claps. They are clapping for the orchestra. And they are clapping for Ronan, too. Ronan is quiet all the way home.
A dog.
There's another dog.
It looks like he's keeping the dog.
Oh, no, he's just walking the dog. I think
But his leg is so
that's
high.
true, that's true. I think that's perspective, they're walking. I get sad right out of the book. Ronan is quiet as he's tucked into bed. Wow. Whispers. Wow. Whispers louder. Why do you think they whispered wow?
Because they probably told him that he said that he yelled out, wow.
Yeah. And so what do you think the parents make of that?
They think that they're so proud of him.
I think
They
that's
wow.
right. They think wow. Exactly.
The dog. The dog.
And now he's off falling into sleep, swirling around with all the music with the dog. We really should give the dog a name. What's the dog's name? I thought. So I want to read you one other page. This is the last page of the book. And then I'll tell you what I think the dog should be named. This story really happened. On May 5th, 2019, at Boston Symphony Hall, a 9-year-old boy named Ronan Martin broke the silence after a performance of Mozart's Masonic funeral music by the Handel and Haydn Society with a wow that echoed throughout the hall and inspired laughter, cheers, and applause. Ronan is nonverbal, which means he usually doesn't speak much, but that night he seemed to speak for everyone in the audience, and his wow was caught on the radio recording that was heard around the world.
He's wowing on the wall.
Wow.
Wow.
People all over the
Like
world
when
heard this
you're
wow.
listening to
Wow,
when you're
the world.
listening to the thing, you'll just hear like at the end of something when you're listening to at the end of the thing on the radio, you'll just hear wow.
Yeah, and like really loud wow. I remember when this happened. I mean, this was, everybody was talking about this because it was so amazing. So I think, because it was a piece by Mozart, I think we should call the dog Mozart. Oh my gosh, you guys, wait, what's happening? So I know, do you guys, do you know the name Mozart? Have you ever heard the composer Mozart? Yeah. What do you know by Mozart? Have you ever heard, what do you know about Mozart? Mozart was a musician, excellent. So Mozart, he lived a while ago. He lived at the same time as Beethoven, a little bit earlier. So I thought I could just play you a couple of pieces by Mozart.
Then you have strings that are like that.
Yes, I do. Rainbow strings. All right, so this is one piece by Mozart, and let me know what you think the mood of this piece is. Yes, what do you think? Happy. I think so too. And how did you feel?
I felt calm. I didn't feel calm. I felt happy and joyful.
Happy and joyful. Excellent. Excellent. That piece is called 𝐥𝐚𝐬𝐠𝐧 because Mozart was German, so he wrote his titles in German. But it means a little night music. So that was a little serenade. So not like going to bed kind of music, but like party kind of music. So here's another one by Mozart. How did that one make you feel? Sad. What did you think? Sad. And a little bit like,
Calm.
well, it's slow, so that can make you feel calm. It's actually, that's taken from Mozart's Requiem, which is a piece that you play to commemorate somebody who died. Let's see, what else did Mozart write? He wrote, all right, let's see what there's. Yes.
I think it made me feel joyful, happy, and like the feeling like something happy happens to you.
Excellent. There are lots of different flavors of happiness. We can be happy because it's Christmas morning and we came downstairs and there are all these presents under the tree. We can be happy because we're looking forward to we're going to our grandparents' house and we're in the car on the way to our grandparents' house. And this song is more of that like anticipation kind of happiness. It's like, oh, I'm so excited, this is happening, this is coming. So it's that kind of excitement. I'll give you one more. Yeah, that was also very energetic and kind of like skippy and jumpy.
And that was the Christmas morning.
That was the Christmas morning one. So this one, it's funny, this one is, it's from his opera called The Magic Flute. And the character who sings that song is named the Queen. And what's amazing about that song when you sing it, and I won't try to sing it, is that was the right tune, but maybe I will try to sing it. Oh, yes. 30 years ago I could sing it, but it's like goes. So that's a little bit about Mozart. Well, you have been so fun. Thank you for coming, and I'm so happy to share this book with you. And yeah.
Give it up for Meister and Natalie. Well, I guess our program's over. So.
I don't think so. I think there's one more thing we're going to do.
Oh, we're gonna do one more thing. What's up with one thing, Mr. Lance?
Well, because we were talking about marching bands,
Yes.
I think it would be fun if we were a marching band.
Do you want to be a marching band? You want to pretend you're in a marching
You guys wanna be in
band?
a marching band?
Yeah. Let's all pretend we're in a marching band. Yeah.
The first thing that we're going to learn is we're going to learn about what is called coming to attention. So, what that means is when there's a person like me, who's a drum major, I need to make sure that I know that everybody's ready to play. So when I say band 10, hi, I need to know that everybody's ready. So what that means is when I say that, everybody put your feet together and you go, oh, yes. I'm going to call your attention and we're going to play a very special song. We're going to play a marching band version of the theme song.
We're gonna do the theme song.
Yay!
Okay. Are you gonna call us to attention?
Yes, I am. Okay, ready?